All right, everybody, welcome back to our preseason basketball series as we're here at Marshfield Senior High School visiting with Scott Scheuer, head basketball coach here, boys basketball coach. Usually, coach, this is called Coach on the Couch, but today it's two Tigers standing in front of a Tiger. But thanks for having me here today.
All right, thanks for being here and doing what you do.
Yeah, all right. So year number five, right? If I had that right, year five coming in here. Maybe just real quick, reflect on those first 4 years and what keeps you coming back here and coaching basketball.
Well, obviously it's the kids. The first year as a head coach, I've been here as the assistant for three the previous, and some of the same kids, obviously you overlap. You lose your seniors and, you have your underclassmen, and it's always the kids. It's why I went into education, and it's why I coach. And I, again, very blessed and fortunate to coach this group that I have this year as well.
Coach, last year ended in the playoffs. You did get a playoff win under your belt. You've spent a couple years in Division II. Last year and this year would be Division III postseason. Just talk about last year a little bit, some of the favorite memories, and then some of those kids who were seniors that left the program.
Well, one of the things that jumps right out is beating Spash, conference team that we haven't beaten previously since I've been the head coach. And I believe you would know this better than I would. I think it was 61. I think Gene mentioned that to me. They had 61 straight conference games on their home floor. Actually, overall, I think, and that was our first time beating them on their home floor to break the streak. Bowman hits a jumper in the corner of the free throw line, elbow, and that was probably one that really jumps out. And then our first playoff game playing against Oshkosh West, who was a top 5 ranked team in the state before they had a series of injuries, and we were able to get them here. And then obviously the third conference championship in 73 years, we shared that with Merrill, and so those jump out right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I had the pleasure, sometimes they say in life timing is everything, to call that game and to call Brant's shot. We had some fun with Brant after that. But he's one of those seniors that was on last year's squad, not coming back at times. During those broadcasts, I called him the most muscular fella in the Valley Conference. We'll transition now into this year's team. What kind of label do you put on this year's team? I mean, coaches talk about, or fans talk about, whether they're quick, they're tall, they shoot. What's this year's team? What's the word for this year's team?
Well, if I had to describe them in one word, I'd say together. We've already encountered a few, I don't know if I'd use the word adversity, but we sure have a few speed bumps, and two of our guys that we were counting on, obviously, I was joking with Coach Gadel about the football season and him being the head football coach. I said football wasn't good to us this year, and it's really unfortunate, from a selfish standpoint, because I wanted to watch Isaac play football. I used to coach the receivers, and he was a receiver, and it's just really unfortunate that happened. And to his credit, he had an appointment tonight, just an update, but things are going well with him, and he's been super positive. And really, when you look at the program overall, I've been doing this now. This will be my 5th year. He's been with me longer than any other player or coach. Mm-hmm. So Isaac and I have, been in this for going on 4 years for him. And then Will, having 100 yards in the first half of the Superior game and then breaking his foot and tearing a ligament. And, both those guys, they haven't missed a practice. They've been really upbeat. And going into our season, obviously you'd like to have all of your guys, and we're down 2. But not taken away from any of the guys that are on the floor, working hard. It's just one of those things that, now we look around and those guys are still with us. They're just not on the floor. And, you never like to start the season like that, but I think our guys accept it, and Will and Isaac are part of our team, and that's obviously going to bring some strength to what we do and what our goals are.
Again, you're listening and watching to our season preview series here, Coach on the Couch. We're at Marshfield High School visiting with Scott Scheuer, head basketball coach here at Marshfield Senior High. Games can be found this year, over 100 games on the Zaleski Sports Network, and watch them all at zaleskisports.com. Coach, job number 1 is to get down here, though, and watch these games in person. Just use me as a backup in that way. Talk about goal setting. If I know a coach, I know them all. You talk about goals, and it's certainly a way you can have your kids kind of keep track and measure themselves throughout the season. What are some of those goals here in this 2019-2020 season?
Well, I know there's a lot of coaches that talk about, end of the season goals, and we really focus on what we're doing right now. If you videotaped our practice tonight or listened to all of our sessions, we talk about the now and we talk about the next play, and really it's not about winning a conference championship or getting to a state tournament. I mean, obviously, if you ask my guys, they'd probably say that would be nice. But I think most of them would say, well, we just want to have a really good practice. We play on a scrimmage on Saturday, and we start next Tuesday already, so it's coming pretty quick. But, I think if we take care of what's in front of us today, practice-wise, drill-wise, the goals that we talk about down the road, sometimes they'll take care of themselves if, you have a little luck and you can stay together as a team.
Lastly, Coach, senior leadership, always important on every team. What kind of responsibility do you put on these seniors? What kind of expectations do you have for the way they conduct themselves in practice and in the games?
Well, I think when you talk about seniors, obviously you want them to be all leaders, and it's really hard for me to pick a captain or two. I'd like everybody on my varsity to be a captain. I want, obviously my seniors, because they've been through it. Like I said, Isaac Meverton has guarded more Division I kids already at his, going into his senior year than probably most. And, I'm going to look to him to really be a role model, not necessarily on the court because he can't get on there yet, but just in his, conversations and his confidence. And obviously as a senior, the younger underclassmen look up to you, and you can take them one of two ways. You can take them and lead them in a negative way, and they'll follow, or you can take them in a positive way, and that's what he's done. And my other seniors, Joey Gadel, obviously quarterback, conference player of the year, Kyle Tremelling and Sam Rotary, two all-conference soccer players. Bennett, another soccer player. Addison Hill, real good cross-country. And then Anthony Posteluk, who's been with me for 3 years. I just can't say enough about this senior group, and I know coaches say that every year. It's this senior group is really good, this senior group. But I've been really fortunate, for not only my senior leaders to lead my underclassmen, but also to buy into, what we're trying to do as coaches. And that's really important. Not that we don't answer questions and give them the why, but a lot of times, they're all in, and we don't really have to sell it, which as a coach, that's a kudos to my staff and to those senior leaders that you talk about.
Yeah, Coach, we're definitely looking forward to the season. Best of luck. Thanks for spending time after practice with me. Guys, more coach interviews coming up at ZaleskiSports.com.